From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang, and I'm your host, Leo Magpayo. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday introduced a new artificial intelligence or AI-driven transparency portal for the Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH, calling it his administration's strongest reform initiative yet, following months of revelations about ghost projects, kickbacks, and irregularities in flood control programs. Speaking at a Malacañang press briefing, the President described the portal as the third phase of government action against the scandal. After exposing defective or non-existent projects and identifying those accountable, he said the next step is systematic reform. President Marcos noted that even local officials had been barred by contractors from inspecting projects, underscoring the need for public oversight. Through the DPWH Transparency Portal, citizens can search infrastructure projects by location and instantly view implementing offices, contractors, budgets, accomplishments, target dates, procurement records, and official documents. Users may also tag projects as completed, defective, duplicate, unfinished, or ghost. The platform complements the Sumbong sa Pangulo website, which was launched to report anomalies in flood control projects. It features geotagged photos from pre-construction to completion, satellite imagery from the Philippine Space Agency and private partners, and live-streamed procurement activities, including real-time bidding. To enhance accessibility, the portal integrates a bilingual AI assistant in Filipino and English. It can be accessed at www.transparency.dpwh.gov.ph. President Marcos urged the public to scrutinize projects and flag irregularities, stressing that transparency is central to restoring trust as corruption cases move forward in the Ombudsman and Sandigan Bayan.
One of the things, isa sa pinakamahalagang bagay na maliwanag na lumabas sa lahat ng mga investigasyon, sa lahat ng mga pangyayari, ay nawalan tayo ng transparency. Hindi nakikita ng tao kung ano talaga ang pangyayari sa loob ng pamahalaan. Kaya naman kung ano-anong ginagawa, walang nagsusumbong dahil hindi nakikita na itatago nila. Etong mga wrongdoers na ito, tinatago nila yung kanilang kalokohan. Dahil hindi naman masilip ng pangkaraniwan na tao o kahit ng mga opisyal kung minsan. Maalala ninyo, there was a case that a governor wanted to inspect a flood control project. Yung kontratista ayaw papasukin yung governor doon sa mismong may pulis pa silang kasama. Pinigilan yung governor. That's how bad all of the transparency situation was. Kaya tayo nandito ngayon upang i-roll out, let me use that word, the DPWH Transparency Portal. And ito ay isang sistema na ating binuo upang kahit sino, hindi kailangan opisyal, kahit sino na kung nais nilang maghanap na impormasyon tungkol sa isang project, tungkol sa project dun sa kanilang lugar, ay maaari nilang gawin. Kaya paulit-ulit kong sinasabi, lahat ng ating mga kapwa Pilipino, huwag kayong magdalawang isip na meron kayong isumbong ninyo para mapag-aralan namin, matignan namin, ma-assess namin kung talagang may problema o hindi. Para naman mas madali ang pagtatanong, meron tayong AI, gumagamit na tayo ng AI assistant na sasagot sa inyong specific queries sa Pilipino man o sa Ingles. Dinisenyo ito para makatiyak na kahit hindi ka techie, kahit hindi ka technical, madaling-madaling ayusin ito. English at saka Pinoy at saka Tagalog, pwedeng gamitin ito. Ito mas komprehensibo sa ating Sumbong sa Pangulo website dahil talagang napakarami na ang informasyon. Ang Transparency Portal ay hindi lang isang website. Ito ay isang pangako. Ito ay isang sagot na digital na pader laban sa korupsyon ay magpapatibay sa ating paniniwala. Ang pamahalaan bukas, tapat at nakikinig sa sambayanan. Kaya hiyakatin natin ang bawat Pilipino na makialam kayo, magtanong at mag-monitor. Gamitin natin ang bagong portal na ito. Magkasama natin itayo ang isang bagong Pilipinas mas maayos, mas matibay na infrastruktura at buo ang tiwala ng tao sa kanilang pamahalaan.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday brushed aside fresh allegations from former lawmaker Zaldi Co, saying his statements carry no weight unless he returns to the Philippines to face the cases filed against him over alleged anomalies in flood control projects. Co, in a new video message circulated on social media, claimed that more than 56 billion pesos in kickbacks from questionable infrastructure projects were delivered to his residence. President Marcos stressed that accountability can only be established through legal proceedings, questioning why Co remains overseas if he insists on his innocence. The Sandigan Bayan has issued arrest warrants against Co and several others tied to an allegedly anomalous flood control project in Oriental Mindoro Province where his firm served as contractor. 7 of Co's co-accused are already in custody, while others are coordinating with authorities for their surrender.
Well, look at the quality of the statements. Alam mo, how mahaba nang naging mga usapan natin tungkol sa fake news. Anyone can go online and make all kinds of claims and say all kinds of things, paulit-ulit. But it means nothing. For it to mean something, umuwi siya rito. Harapin niya yung mga kaso niya. Kung meron siyang gusto sabihin, sabihin niya. Malalaman naman ng tao yan eh. Patunayan. But come home. Come home. Ba't ka nagtatago sa malayo? Ako, hindi ako nagtatago eh. Kung meron kang akusasyon sa akin, nandito ako. Gawin niyo pareho. At para patas lang naman.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, Department of the Interior and Local Government or DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla on Monday called on former Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldi Co and his co-accused in the flood control corruption scandal to surrender before authorities track them down. Aside from Co, those facing arrest warrants over alleged anomalies are Timohen Sakar, Montrexis Tamayo, Aderma Angeli Alcazar, Cesar Buenaventura, Consuelo Aldon, Noel Cao, and Anthony Ngo. Remulla said several of the accused reportedly are abroad, have signaled their intent to turn themselves in except Co. He also warned that anyone harboring fugitives could face prosecution.
We have to make it clear that no matter where you are in the world, we will find you. If you are at large, we will find you. If you are hiding in the Philippines, we will find you. Binabalaan po namin na lahat ng gustong tumulong, lahat ng gustong tumulong itago ang mga ito ay may kaparusahan na katumbas sa kanilang ginagawa. Our best advice to all who have outstanding warrants of arrest against them, surrender as soon as possible. Surrender to the nearest authorities. Surrender to the nearest police station. If we go on a manhunt after you, we cannot guarantee the results. For the sake of your families, for the sake of the country, surrender immediately.
The DILG reported that 8 officials of the Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, linked to the controversy are already in custody. Dennis Pelo Abagon, Gerald Pacanan, Jean Ryan Alurin Altea, Ruben De Los Santos Jr., Dominic Gregorio Serrano, Juliet Cabungan Calvo, Felizardo Sevari Casuno, and Lerma Dotado Caico. National Bureau of Investigation or NBI officer in charge, Angelito Magno, said Abagon, a former member of the DPWH Bidding and Awards Committee, was arrested in Quezon City on Sunday. Pacanan, former DPWH Mimaropa Regional Director, surrendered to the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group and helped authorities apprehend 6 of his co-accused, according to Acting Philippine National Police Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Also on Monday, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. voiced concern after his sister, Senator Amy Marcos, publicly accused him, First Lady Luisa Araneta Marcos, and their son, Ilocos Norte Representative Sandro Marcos, of illegal drug use. In a Malacañang press briefing, the president said her remarks do not reflect the person their family knows and have caused alarm among relatives and close friends. President Marcos declined to go into detail about the senator's accusations. Asked if he plans to speak with her, he replied that they have long lived separate lives.
It's anathema to me to talk about family matters generally in public. I do not like to. We do not like to show our dirty linen in public. I'll just say this much. For a while now, we've been very worried about my sister. When I say we, I'm talking about friends and family. And the reason that is because the lady that you see talking on TV is not my sister. And that view is shared by our cousins, our friends. Hindi siya yan. Hindi siya yan. So that's why we worry. So we are very worried about her. I hope she feels better soon.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Still on Monday, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. insisted there is no conflict between him and former Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin or former Budget Secretary Amena Pangandaman, despite lingering questions over the circumstances of their departure from the cabinet. Malacañang earlier announced that both officials stepped down out of delicadeza after their offices were linked to alleged budget insertions tied to the flood control probe. Bersamin, however, later said he did not resign and admitted feeling slighted by the manner of his exit, fueling uncertainty over whether his departure was voluntary or directed. President Marcos explained that Pangandaman's exit was intended to protect the integrity of ongoing investigations. In the meantime, Undersecretary Rolando Toledo has been designated officer in charge of the Department of Budget and Management, while Finance Secretary Ralph Recto has been appointed as the new Executive Secretary.
The question about the Chief Luke and myself, wala, nag-usap na kami. And we understand each other and we decided to keep it between ourselves. There's no bad blood, there is no acrimonious feeling there, so that's fine. She sec me na because her name was dragged into the whole thing. It makes it clear that whatever is going on, kung ano man ang mga questioning, kung ano man ang mangyayari, we want to be sure that she's not in a position where she might be suspected of influencing all that. Kasi when she's out of government, wala na siyang influensya. So, hindi mo masasabing inayos niya yung kaso niya.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday convened top officials in Malacañang to discuss the enforcement of arrest warrants against individuals charged with graft and malversation linked to flood control projects. Joining the meeting were Interior and Local Government Secretary John Vic Remulla, Acting Justice Secretary Frederick Vida, Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission Executive Director Benjamin Acorda Jr., Acting Philippine National Police Chief Police Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartatis Jr., and National Bureau of Investigation or NBI Officer in Charge Angelito Magno. In a video message earlier that day, the President reported that 7 of the 16 accused are already in government custody. He urged the remaining suspects, including former Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldi Co, to surrender, warning that anyone found sheltering them will also face criminal liability. President Marcos first ordered the probe into flood control anomalies during his 4th State of the Nation Address or SONA on July 28th. On September 11th, 2025, the Chief Executive signed Executive Order or EO number 94 establishing the Independent Commission for Infrastructure or ICI tasked to investigate irregularities in flood control and other infrastructure projects and recommended charges against those accountable.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Bureau of Immigration, or BI, announced Monday the arrest of a high-profile Chinese fugitive linked to a suspected fraud syndicate in San Miguel, Manila. Fugitive Search Unit, or FSU Chief Rendel Ryan C. identified the suspect as 38-year-old Chen King Yang, wanted in China for major economic crimes. He was apprehended Friday afternoon during a raid at the Sunland building along P. Castle Street. Chen has been the subject of a detention warrant issued by the Guangzhou Public Security Bureau since 2019. Authorities said he embezzled over 3 million renminbi from a company where he served as shareholder and legal representative, diverting the funds for personal use, such as investments and credit card payments, acts considered serious economic offenses under Chinese law. Xi noted that the site of Chen's arrest bore signs of a fraud syndicate hub, with thousands of electronic devices consistent with online scams and illicit digital operations. The operation, conducted with the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, Special Detection and Field Unit, also led to the discovery of 15 other Chinese nationals who failed to present valid passports or immigration documents. All 16 individuals are now facing deportation cases and will remain in BI custody while proceedings are underway. Viado said this administration has zero tolerance for foreign criminals who treat the Philippines as a sanctuary.
Dateline Malacañang.
We temporarily interrupt our program to give way to a presidential event where President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. inspected the Ningning 6.55 megawatt peak solar rooftop power facility at Pasinayan Homes Prime Central in Naik, Cavite Province.
Mula sa Presidential Communications Office at Radyo Pilipinas, ito ang Presidential Live Event. Presidential Live Event.
Thank you very much, the Sud Secretary, Secretary Pingaliling. Please be seated. Interior and Local Government Secretary and Anak ng Cavite, John Vic Remulla. Energy Secretary Sharon Garin. Joy Nostals. I specifically asked what was that name, Joy Nostals. And I was right, there is a story behind it. Maybe he will tell it to you one of these days. It's a very sweet story, actually. Members of the Homeowners Association, fellow workers in government, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am pleased to join you all today here in the Ningning Solar Rooftop Power Facility. It's an initiative that is a monumental one as it lights up homes and the path forward to the country's energy transition. Solaris and Remulan Lands have done something quite remarkable. They adopt renewable technology innovations right here on the rooftops of Filipino families here in Naik. Halos 2,000 tahanan ang kasama sa proyektong ito. Bawat isa sa kanila ay pinagkukunan ng malinis na enerhiya dahil sa mga solar panel na nakalagay sa kanilang mga bubong. Ito po ang kaunahang grid-connected, utility-scale solar project sa buong mundo na matatagpuan sa isang socialized housing community. Higit pang nakakahanga ang Ningning Project, hindi lang solar technology ang hatid nito sa atin, nagbibigay din ng suporta at ng kita dito sa mga nakatira dito. Gamit ang bahagi ng kita rito, matutustusan ang pag-aayos ng bubong ng mga bahay, mga panatiling bukas ang ilaw at kalsada, mapapatupad ang maayos na pamahala sa basura at magkakaroon ng shared solar facility at iba't ibang training para sa mga residente. In other words, the energy that we produce here will power a better life for the people who live in this community, but even beyond this community. Because although there are advantages, there are benefits to those living in this community, there is also the benefit to the grid because you are providing additional power, which we all know is something that we need. Dahil gamit natin ang mga bubong ng mga bahay na naitayo na, walang ginamit na farmland, walang tinanggal na kabuhayan at walang nasayang na lupa. Sa pamamagitan ng Ningning Project, makakabawas tayo ng mahigit 6,000 metriko na tonelada ng carbon dioxide emission kada taon. Para tayong nag-alis ng halos 1,000 sasakyan sa ating mga kasada. Kaya't mas makakatulong tayo sa ating kalikasan. And the rest of the world has noticed. This project has already won gold for ESG Integration Excellence and silver for Sustainable Renewable Energy Initiative of the Year for the Asian Power Awards 2025. Congratulations. You have managed to bring Filipino innovation to the world stage. And for that is a very, very important step for the Philippines and, for that matter, the solutions that we are trying to find. When we talk about climate change, when we talk about the shift from fossil fuels to renewables in terms of our power production, we always have to say that this is a new situation that we have never faced before. And therefore, we must come up, we must be creative and be able to find a different solutions. And we cannot continue to do the same things that we did before. This is a prime example of that. creativity, of the new thinking, of innovation that brings technologies together in an imaginative and innovative way, and to the advantage to the residents here, to the power generation in our country, to our shift from fossil fuels to renewables. It is that much search for win-win solution. So well done and congratulations. Because this is how we move forward with efforts that both benefit our environment and our people. I believe that this community in Naik is just the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, I am truly excited by what the Ningning project shows about what the future can be. Imagine what we can do if we replicate this sort of effort in neighboring communities and later on the rest of the country. Patuloy tayong kumikilos upang tugunan ang lumalalang epekto ng climate change. Ngunit alam natin hindi ito kayang aksyonan ng iisang sektor lamang. Kailangan natin ang tulong ng bawat komunidad, bawat pamilya, bawat Pilipino. Ito po ang nakita natin sa proyektong ito. Kaya sa pamilyang naririrahan dito, maraming salamat po sa inyo. Kayo ang punot dulo ng proyektong ito. Ang inyong mga tahanan ay bahagi ng isang pagsisikap upang bumuo ng mas maliwanag na kinabukasan at mas malinis na kapaligiran. To Solaris, Remulan Lands, Joy Nostalgia Foundation, and our other partners, let us continue working together, breaking new ground. On our end as a government, we will continue improving our processes so we can promote and support and accelerate more innovative renewable energy projects just like this. Indeed, our collaboration demonstrates what can be achieved when the government, the private sector, and communities work together to create sustainable solutions. Muli, sama-sama po tayo magsikap upang makamit ang isang mas maganda at maliwanag na kinabukasan, mamanahin at ipagmamalaki ng ating mga anak. Maraming salamat po. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat.
You just heard the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. following his inspection of the Ningning 6.55 megawatt peak solar rooftop power facility at Pasinayan Homes Prime Central in Naik, Cavite Province.
Dateline Malacañang.
And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.